Hello, Vincent here. Glad you could join me today. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about this little device. It's well, I use it as a sleep tracker, but it's like a heart rate tracker, and you can use it for all the stuff that all these other telemetry, like body telemetry monitoring stuff. That does all the normal stuff. A couple of years ago, I was still really struggling with insomnia, and I was doing all kinds of things to battle it. But the kind of the difficult bit was measuring how effective these different things are. So I kept a sleep diary, which was just a notebook where I wrote in it when I went to bed, when I guessed I'd gone to sleep, and when I woke up, so that I could see, what my average sleep duration was ish. But it's quite difficult to tell because I take a long time to go to sleep. So if it takes an hour, did it take an hour and a half? Not sure. Anyway, and at that time I was averaging like really poorly. It was something like 4.25 hours per night. And was that accurate? I don't know. That's the thing. So I had a look around on the market, the market for these things, just to see what might do me as a gadget, a sleep tracker gadget, and the Whoop tracker came up as a possible option. It's quite pricey though, so it's a monthly subscription, right? You get the device basically for free, and then you have a monthly subscription, and it's something like, it's quite a lot, £20 a month or something. So it was loads actually, and that keeps the app alive, and it feeds your data into it, and it does all the analytics and everything. So I thought, right, well, I was quite desperate at this point, so I was putting money into anything that had held the promise of helping me out of this insomnia nightmare that I was in. Even though this is just measuring, but right, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it, right? So I did need to measure it. So I got one of these, and it came in a nifty little unfoldy, super ergonomic, eco-friendly cardboard packaging, and it's quite neat. It's just a kind of very tiny little piece of hardware with a strap that folds round and tensions itself against your arm, and it has these sensors on the back, which I don't know exactly how they work, but they shine like ultraviolet light into your skin or whatever, and they can detect. It's amazingly clever. It can detect your heart rate and oxygen levels in your blood. It can see your pulse, and it does kind of secondary, and I think maybe your skin temperature as well, a few other things, and it uses those to do sort of secondary processing to work out when you're doing other activities. And initially, when you first use it, you tag these events. You tag when you're doing a workout, for example, or when you're going to bed. And then it learns from your patterns, and then it automatically detects when you're doing these various things. The one thing that really fooled it was when I was doing my drumming practice, because obviously your arms are going all over the place, heart rate's going, and this thing's jiggling about, and it has got no clue what the hell's going on. Anyway, so I used this to monitor my sleep. I don't know, again, how accurate it was. All the sales spiel reckons it's pretty good. And it seemed to be quite good. And what was interesting is that it would highlight when I woke up during the night, even little bits. And you could see, it classifies the sleep. On the app, you get a graph, and it shows you like your previous night's sleep. And you can see when you're in heavy sleep, in light sleep, in kind of pre-sleep state, and when you're awake. And you can kind of get a sense of the quality of your sleep as well as the quantity. It shows kind of your heart rate, activity, and when it spikes up if you get up in the middle of the night. Yeah, the software on it is pretty good. You pay a premium for it, but the actual software is pretty good, and the hardware itself is pretty good. It's a really small thing, and the battery in it lasts for like 3 days. So after 3 days, you have to put this thing on it. It's like a battery pack that you slide on, and it wirelessly charges the battery inside the wristband itself from the battery in this little booster pack, and then you just plug this in via USB-C to a power source, and it charges this back up. So it's quite a nifty bit of technology, and it's lightweight. You don't notice it when you've got it on because it's like a slightly elastic strap. You can go running in it. That's really good. So I was also at this point starting to go running regularly. So this is great for measuring your kind of peak heart rate and seeing how long, seeing what your heart rate levels are at. So seeing what kind of exertion you're under. So I was finding that if I was just doing very short distances, but when I was pushing it up to the next level, I could see my heart rate was rocketing up. It's incredible. And we live in like a really hilly area, so this was hill running as well, which it wasn't very easy. So up to this point, you're thinking, well, this is a really good device, and it is in some respects. But the way this device connects and uploads its data is that it pairs with your mobile phone. Basically, it has a Bluetooth connection to your mobile phone, and the mobile phone acts as like a remote client that sends the data to a central database. So, right, you're already sharing all your data here. It's not a local loop; it's a remote loop. Sends your data down onto a central server somewhere, and I guess it has to be that way, right? This is going to have a very short range transmitter in it that talks Bluetooth to your phone, and then from your phone out to the rest of the network. Now, what I was finding is that you had to have a continuous connection, Bluetooth connection to your phone. Sounds okay. If you've got your phone on you all the time, that's no problem at all. But, I don't carry my phone with me all the time. I work from home. I don't need to have my phone in my pocket. I'm not wandering around an office with my phone in my pocket. I sometimes leave it downstairs. My partner uses it. Whatever or I'm walking around the house. I don't religiously carry my phone with me when I go to the bathroom, for example. And we live in an old stone cottage, and the walls of this cottage are like 3 feet thick, solid stone. So very often I would get up and walk around. Even if I had my phone on my desk, I'd go and walk around the house, come back. It would break that Bluetooth connection. And for some reason, this device really, really struggled to automatically re-establish that connection if it was broken. So it would get broken 10 times a day. And what I was finding was it would lose that connection, and then the data would start backing up on here, and it wasn't synchronizing onto the phone. Normally it's kind of synchronizing in more or less real time, and it has the ability to go faster than real time so it can catch up a bit. But I'd go to the bathroom, or I'd go downstairs, get myself a cup of tea or whatever, come back, not even thinking about it, with this on my arm, and the connection at that point was broken, and it would never re-establish. And so then when I realized that, I would get the phone and I would like stop and restart the software, and it didn't work, and I'd like toggle Bluetooth on and off, and that would sometimes work, sometimes wouldn't, and I'd reset the phone, and sometimes that would work for a while. So I ended up in a kind of ongoing loop conversation with Whoop support, and to give them their due, they tried, and they gave me these like lengthy procedures to do a whole bunch of resets on my phone that would clear out any Bluetooth data caches or whatever, and delete the connection and re-establish it. But then after a few days, like 3 or 4 days, the same problem would come up again, and then I couldn't resolve it. And talking to Whoop, they couldn't resolve it, and so it just didn't work. As soon as you walk around the house, the Bluetooth connection to the phone was broken, and it would not automatically re-establish itself. And you could toggle Bluetooth on and off, and it wouldn't reconnect it. And so your data would sit on here, not connecting. And I think the buffer in this thing has like 24, 48 hours worth of buffer size of data in here, and then you'd overrun the buffer and then you'd be losing data. So although it's a really clever piece of tech, and I found it really useful when I could get it to work, it only worked for a few weeks at a time, and then it was a constant fight to get it working again. And it reached the point where I was like resetting my phone 3 or 4 times a day, and it became like a complete, what's the phrase, a millstone around my neck of me constantly having to keep my phone next to this thing so that the data would keep connecting and syncing up. And in the end, sadly, I just gave up because it couldn't re-establish itself. Now that maybe in the meantime Whoop have solved this problem, but for me it was a complete deal breaker. It's fine, the tech's fine, it connects, gathers the data. The way it analyzes the data is really interesting. You see all these graphs against different types of activities you do, fascinating, but it just wouldn't keep working regularly. I just couldn't get it to consistently sync the data, and in the end I gave up on it. So I couldn't use it. So your mileage may vary basically, but if you've got a situation where you have your phone on you at all times, or maybe you've got a phone that this is more compatible with. I mean, mine's just a mainstream Samsung Galaxy thing that millions of people have, but so I don't, and it's not particularly underpowered, so I don't think it was a phone technology issue. I've never had any other Bluetooth problems with it, so I think it was down to this Whoop device and how it tries to re-establish connections and can't. So that's my kind of semi-rant review of the Whoop tracker, and I'm quite sad that it doesn't work really, because in every other respect I liked it, apart from the fact that it's really quite expensive. But then maybe they've downwards adjusted their prices, I don't know. So there you go, that's my view on the Whoop tracker. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you soon.